What's going on, folks, and welcome to another video. I hope you're all doing well. First video of 2022, and a very happy new year to each and every one of you guys, by the way, and I hope you had a lovely Christmas and a holiday. So let's get straight into the video. This has been requested quite a lot over the last few months about an FPS video, and I did promise I was going to put it out. So if you did ask for it, here it is. We're going to jump straight in. So very quickly, there's a picture of my setup right there. I'm using a 50-inch TV. I do not use G-Sync or FreeSync monitors, gaming monitors. I'm just using a TV. This is how my setup looks. Now here's another image here of what my PC looks like. I'm using a 3080 Ti overclocked with 64 gigs of RAM and an i9 11900K. Now I know that's OP hardware, guys, but there are some things that I do to really sort of try and get as much FPS as possible. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a quick look here. So NVIDIA control panel, obviously we're working with NVIDIA here. I'm not AMD or Ryzen or anything. There's probably ways to do that, but I'm not going to get into that. So I'm going to use global settings for this because I use this for all my games. So vertical sync I switched on, guys. Power management mode I set to maximum performance. OpenGL rendering GPU I set to my graphics card, 3080 Ti, and my maximum frame rate is 60. So I set it to 60 because my monitor is 60. It will not produce any more frames than that. So I set mine to 60. Some of you guys might have FreeSync or G-Sync, or even using a 144 Hertz, you know, but I like to have that overhead, especially when I'm gaming, and I don't like to push my PC all the way. So basically what can happen is you know, I could stream in 4K resolution and stuff like that, but I don't want to push my PC too hard. You know, 2K resolution is just fine. So if you want to use the DLSS 2.0 with SCUM, guys, you do need a 20 series or 30 series card. It will not work before that, like any series before that. GTX cards use CUDA cores, which NVIDIA have been using since they begun, pretty much. But with the 20 and 30 series cards, they're using tensor cores, ladies and gents, which is deep learning super sampling. That's what the DLSS stands for anyway, at least, which gives you better image sharpening and better performance when you're running a higher resolution. And this is deep learning super sampling. It only gets better over time. That's why I've always pushed NVIDIA cards. You know, I think NVIDIA is fantastic. They got loads of options. Right, anyway, let's get into the game. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be in the game having a look at the settings. Okay, ladies and gents, here we are. We're currently inside the game right now. We're going to have a look at some of our settings. So you can see that I'm not getting any screen tearing at all. That's because I set my VSync on and set the FPS to 60. So it's actually got a lot of overhead. I could probably turn VSync off and I could probably hit 100 and something frames easy. But I don't want to push what I don't need to push. So I'm conserving that energy. I'm conserving that, you know, all that extra performance. You know, it doesn't need to use so much. Now, obviously, everyone's got a different card out there. So let's have a quick look. We're going to hit escape and we're going to go to options. I currently am in single player right now. And we're going to have a look at the video settings first. So I'm using full screen. I'm resolutions 2560 by 1440. And I do have VSync set on inside the game. I don't think I really need that on, but I'm just going to have it on. I'm just going to have that on anyway. So if we go to graphics, now render scaling is, you can see what that does to the background there. Now you don't need to have 200 render scaling. You know, that really is going to tank performance there. I would personally keep it at 100 and then just go from there. So if you just keep it at 100, you're good to go. I play a few other games that have render scaling in as well, and it's great to see a lot of these you know, a lot of these settings that are coming in, and the devs have just changed the UI, which is what you're looking at now. You're looking at the UI here, and it's made it easier for them to be able to sort of update graphic settings and stuff like that. Considering that they're using Unreal Engine 4.27, I am not 100% sure if they're going to go Unreal Engine 5, but I'm guessing that is probably the plan, and that is the great thing about Unreal Engine. You know, the devs are really sort of pushing to get the latest graphics, you know, and on the latest engine, and that's the great thing about SCUM, is that it can consistently be upgraded and updated along with the Unreal Engine as well. So a lot of what you're going to see here is, yes, I know I'm running a lot of things on Epic and high, ladies and gents, but I'm going to show you something here that will probably help you guys running a lower spec PC. Now, I don't currently use DLSS right now. I'm not using it. It will probably benefit me in some way, but right now I don't want to use it. Everything seems to be fine. If it's not broke, you know, don't fix it if it ain't broke, so to speak. So And I'm finding that where they've just implemented it as well, it makes things a little bit blurry. So what I'll do is I'll show you what I mean. So if you just look at me do this, I'm just walking around or crouching around, so to speak. So you can see this. But what you'll notice is if I turn on DLSS, this is what it does for me. But remember what I was saying, it's mainly for people who are using 4K. So if that helps in any way. Now I find that it is a little bit blurrier. It's running a little bit blurrier for me. So turning DLSS on at 1440p does make things blurrier than when I have it off. So I like to keep that off for now. And you can see if I go back out, everything's sort of sharpened up again. I can see it a lot easier on my screen because I've got a bigger screen right now, unless you guys are watching this on the TV or a big monitor. So if we go back to, let's hit escape, let's go back to graphics. Okay, so shadows is going to be a big thing for you guys. So shadows is something you want to bring down, maybe to medium, maybe even to low. That is going to be a big difference in performance, as shadows always do cause a lot of performance issues, especially on older cards as well. Whereas the 20 and 30 series sort of have, you know, different architecture, makes it more efficient to actually run shadows without having performance issues as well. So I'm actually going to turn mine down to what I think, you know, will give you guys some, you know, give you like a better performance. Post-processing here, I would probably turn down to low or medium. Effects quality, you could probably leave to medium as well. Now, effects quality, if you don't like lightning in the game, guys, bring it down to medium. And that will turn the lightning off in the game because that is an effect. So, you know, if you don't want to get some of them effects, just turn the effects quality down. Texture quality, I'd bring back to medium. And texture memory as well. Now, what I would do, if you're running 8 to 16 gigabytes of RAM, I would probably preferably keep that on medium. Or even low, depending on, you know, your CPU performance as well. So, what I would do, if you've got 32 gigs of RAM, I would keep it high, or even epic. You'd be fine. View distance, I keep mine at higher. You can again bring that down to medium. Foliage quality, I keep mine high. Motion blur, I have off because it just makes me feel sick a lot of the time, and a lot of my viewers do not like this at all in any way, shape or form. Like I said, guys, I'm not a tech head with all this. I'm just giving you my opinion on how you guys can get better FPS with this game. Light functions, lighting generally is a pretty big deal, so you could turn them off if you like, and it's a big experiment. So you need to sit here for an hour. I've done it many times. I've sat here for a couple of hours going through all different types of settings. You're going to need to do it too. What I'm showing you here isn't probably going to work for you straight away, but it might help. Shadow precision, I'd bring that down to medium or low for better performance. Shadow resolution, now shadow resolution is a big thing, especially on older cards, so I'd bring that down to low or medium as well. Distance field shadows, so that's obviously shadows that you can see on the left hand side of the screen there, right in the distance. You can turn them off if you like. That will definitely give you better performance there. Light shafts quality, I like them, so I'm keeping them on. Clouds quality, I'm going to keep mine to high, but we are now using volumetric clouds ever since 0.6 or 0.5. 0.5, I think it was, when all this sort of came in. So you want to keep that to low or medium. That is going to be a big tank for you guys. Clouds will be the biggest thing that you guys will notice with the performance, especially with volumetric clouds, 3D moving clouds. Now, streaming speed will basically, if you run up to a building, the textures are going to load in, or if you look around, the textures will load in like from a distance to your eye level. It will go load in, load in, load in, load in, load in. Now you see everything clear. You know, if you have it very high, it's going to be instant, you know, and this has been known to cause crashes because, especially on low-end systems, guys, it doesn't cause crashes for no reason. It's mainly on the lower-end systems. So if you're running a lower end, I would preferably keep it to very low or low. Everything will load in slowly, so it's not going to crash. It's not going to overload anything in the game or anything like that as well. So there we go. I'm going to keep mine very high, but I'd probably, you know, depending on your PC specs, experiment with it. You know, experiment with it. That was a new feature a little while ago. So if I apply all that, you can see that the graphics does change a lot. You know, there's a lot of visuals that currently aren't there anymore. So you can see this is how the game looks for me right now. Everything's changed. We've got no background shadows or anything like that. And the performance is going to be out of this world with that kind of thing. If I go back to options, back to graphics, and let's just turn everything. Let's just turn everything epic. Other than let's turn off depth of field. Doesn't work right now. And motion blur we've got off as well. So if I reapply and we go back, you can see, you know, when the sun comes out, you're going to see more shadows and stuff like that. Right now, you can't see them in a distance so much. You can see some, but that's pretty much that. So, guys, I really do hope this has helped out. I know a lot of you guys are probably thinking, you know, this hasn't helped or whatever, but I really hope it does. I really hope it helps you guys. So this isn't an amazing in-depth video on the tech behind it. I'm just showing you my settings and the way that I would go around things to give you guys, you know, or give yourself a better performance. So with that being said, stay safe, peace out, and I'll catch you on the live stream tomorrow. Take care.